So again, over the years in contemplating these issues, I've come to hold up this central maxim, the condensed version of what I'm getting at here, asserting that the purpose of life, again, is to live a life of purpose. That's a choice. You have to make that choice. And purpose, if it's found, is found in connection with other. That doesn't necessarily mean other people, but it means something other than you, whether that's the natural world, your relationship to knowledge, your relationship to culture, society, certainly other people. But that's where the juice and the purpose of living is always found. And certainly while a choice is necessary at some point to embark on this path, it's essential to understand that this path is part of a process. We are all born into dependence. Few of us ever mature beyond dependence. At some point, the innate drive of wanting to find purpose and connection must overwhelm the security of the need to seek dependence. If that happens for you, then you will be compelled to embark upon this particular path. From this point of view, and with a mixture of both humor and dismay, I do cast an eye at the seemingly limitless popularity of commentary on YouTube or whatever about the 10 characteristics of the narcissist, or how to identify a narcissist. It seems that there's just simply no end to the hunger for contemplating this particular issue. I could solve this for anyone in a heartbeat. The surest way of identifying a narcissist is to look in the mirror. In fact, in the myth, that's what narcissism is about, is looking in the mirror. At its core, narcissism is a reflection of an internal infantile state, arrested development, retardation. It is an individual who has never matured beyond the comprehension that other people in any meaningful way actually do exist. We look at the writings of Martin Buber around here a lot. I, thou, I, it. In many ways, the narcissist doesn't even rise to the duality of understanding that externalities exist. They may not even objectify. They simply see that, like an infant does, the rest of the world as an extension of their own ego. There's a basic lack of comprehension there and arrested development that I see as encouraged and coddled within the culture that we have. It certainly serves some ends, but it is a catastrophe, not only for us individually, but for the world itself. And in the most horrible of manner, this self-referential solipsistic view also dominates our metaphysical exploration. The creeds that one see elevated are about the internal world, about retreating within, to finding the God within, the divinity within, the goddess within. Even with the resurgence in interest in substances, psychedelics, and the rest, there is an unsupported assumption that is held without reflection that taking these substances provide access to truths that exist within that are somehow unrealized. Popular psychology does the same. It asserts that there's reality within, even magic abilities within, that somehow could be found with the right mechanism or the right kind of access. And this, of course, is silliness. The lesson to be learned for anyone who has put a rigorous investigation into either philosophical, esoteric, or psychological thought. Anything that's got any integrity to it. I mean, we certainly understand that the contemplation of those inner worlds goes a long ways to self-discovery and to the development of personal character, and that's been held throughout history. But there is no such thing as internal truth. Truth is to be found in the external world, and certainly individuals who have greater character are more able to find it. But there is no internal magic. Truth is found without, not turning the eyes in, but without. Purpose is not found within, it is found without, through interaction with other in the real world. Connection is not found within, it is found without, not by reaching in, but reaching out. Yes, I am also very aware of the success of the corporate gurus with their diamond-encrusted spectacles out there, profiting very well by selling a message of liberation to narcissistic children, following a path of not reaching to other, but withdrawing into an ever greater state of egomania. I'm sure, taken to its absolute extreme, if you collapse the world into a complete solipsistic monad, that there is a kind of revelation, an infantile revelation of being the entire universe yourself that may feel like some kind of divine experience. But I would say that even if real, it is at cross purposes with the obvious purpose between our own potentiality. We're not given eyes to close them, or ears to shut them off, or long legs to sit on a yoga mat, or strong bodies for them to be idle and to be perpetually withdrawing into further and deeper dreamlike states. No, our entire embodiment, our natural being, suggests an end, a purpose that's even teleological, which is to explore, to expand, to seek. And for human beings, that possibility is unusually and uniquely precious and pregnant. For as whatever other attributes we may hold in common with our kin of other species, only human beings and some human beings express the creative spark to be able to rise beyond the purely instinctual, and to in fact adopt a role as a co-participant in the creative process of life itself, to rise into roles that those who still remain enslaved within their infantile, narcissistic, solipsistic states might suggest are roles only available to gods. But that is our unique position as human beings, to have the creative potential of the divine while having the hands of an animal as a unique interface to operate as an anti-entropic manner within the universe. What a horrible thing that so many of us choose, deliberately, unconsciously, unwittingly, to leave that potentiality unrealized. So this is my core message here. It is one of waking up. It is one of growing up. It is one of picking up your mat and walking. It is one of leaving your victimization behind. It is one of choosing empowerment, authenticity, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness first in a meaningful sense, and in fact a universal sense, not only being an advocate for these principles for yourself, but for everything else that is involved in this process we call life. To do so will take radical compromises. It will take an effort of disengagement from the culture that we live in, that deliberately represses and oppresses individuals who would make these paths available to themselves. But once the choice is made In fact, the practice is more practical than one would think. And once the choice itself is made aware of, the conversation is certainly not akin to the pontification of the gurus with the diamond-encrusted glasses. There's no weekend retreats here. No, it's a conversation between peers who are engaged in the same path, the same process, and contain within themselves the same values. It comes naturally to the seafaring motif. This is how sailors engage with each other, or perhaps more pertinent to the case, how pirates do. We share our travelers' tales. We share the notes that we may have on our charts. There's good anchoring to be had here, we say. This will hold you well in northwesterly. Up the hill, there's a ruined orchard where you can find apples in September. That sort of stuff. Anyway, I hope to encourage, hope to empower, hope to inspire. I know it's kind of a tough and scary world. It's always been a tough and scary world. The choice is whether or not we're going to stay in port or sail to safer harbors. Cheers, peeps.